Hello there all my lovely jewelry makers, I'm Christina at CSLdesigns, and in today's video I'm going to be opening up another Magical Mystery Bead Box, and I'm very curious to see what's in here because I've only opened up a couple of these already and each one has a different theme, so I'm curious what this theme is. So I'm just gonna get my scissors. I haven't had a peek or anything. Let's get into the box. Hope that was good enough. Yep, I think so. And then just get this open. Now from past experience this can be a little bit hard to open. Actually this one wasn't so bad, just because the flap is really long. But anyway, right, let's see. This looks nice already. So that looks like the theme is late summer romance. That's a very beautiful picture. I do like the artwork and the pictures they put in. It's very beautiful and also it's quite inspiring in a way, so you can kind of use it as inspiration. And then you use your little note with some buy one get one free, and again that artwork's definitely very beautiful. I love the colouring on that. So let's just put that to the side. So that's the theme. So let's see what's actually in here and just get this out of the way. The lovely pink strips. Right, so I'm just gonna get it all out and then we can have a little bit of a look outside of the box. Bit of an overview. I think that was everything. Yeah, it's just the paper now. I'm just going to put the other ones back. Otherwise it's going to go all over the place. Right, let's have an actual little look then. And also, I'm going to put it to one side because we also get on the large kind of artwork there, it tells you on the back of it the content. So I'm just going to have a closer look. So let's start from one end. We have first of all Summer of Love Design Elements Bead Mix, and it says featuring Swarovski. So Summer of Love Design Elements, it's got to be this one here. So it's kind of little packs they put together and then they call it, obviously this one is called Summer of Love, and you have two separate bags in it, kind of separated out, but then things that match and could easily be used together. Obviously you don't have to. So on the back one we have a mix of different beads that you can either kind of separate things out or you can literally use them all together because they do all go, but also maybe you could just want to use some of them together and some of them for something else. So very interesting mix. You got some kind of goldeny tones and then you got some purpley plummy tones as well, and some nice sparkle, nice rounds and some other shapes as well. And those rounds there was kind of like little balls all the way around. It's interesting. Then the other one looks to be metallic elements. Some have got little kind of crystals in them and very flower themed, I would say. It's my impression. So I'm kind of thinking some of them are probably bead caps and things like that. I'm not entirely sure about, on the note here it says featuring Swarovski. I'm not entirely sure what that is in here, or whether it might be a mistake because I think there's Swarovski somewhere else. It could be, but I'm not entirely sure which one that would be. Anyway, moving on, we then have what they call Love Potion number 9 and Design Elements Bead Mix, and that has got to be this one then, because Love Potion number 9. So this is a mix. Again, you got beads, very different beads and quite large and impactful ones, I would say. And then you got little, what I would kind of call tassels, but again in a different way, not just your typical tassel. It's almost like these little flower petals, which obviously fits the theme quite nicely, and quite a romantic theme, I will say. Again, fits the theme. And you got little, almost a bit like animal print on the side of those beads there. Got some heart shaped with roses on. Very kind of antique looking beads there and romantic style. And the colours are very Summer of Romance as well, so that's all fitting the theme quite nicely. Then we have Tassel Assortment. So here we have some more regular tassels. You have little, kind of little flower tassels again, but in a different way. Pretty cute, quite fluffy. And you have little, I'm guessing they are kind of leatherette tassels in some different colours. And it's nice that they're not too big. Quite nice and small sizes, little dainty ones. And then we have Summer Love Mini Mix, and that one says featuring Swarovski, so I wonder whether maybe that one isn't featuring Swarovski, whether that's a mistake or there's Swarovski in both, I'm not sure, but that's gotta be this one because it says Summer Love featuring Swarovski. So it's a mini mix. Let's try and see, we'll have a closer look what's in there. So you get what looks to be some bicones, which is always nice. Swarovski bicones, I use them a lot. Definitely like them, always very sparkly. And then some other shaped beads, kind of the hexagons and kind of flat ones. Give a very kind of industrial feel, I think. A bit, doesn't have to be masculine, but it could be. Definitely very different, and putting them together is a bit of a beehive look, you could say as well. It's a nice colour as a base colour because that pretty much goes with everything else. But this is kind of a bit more like late summer evening romance, I would say, the colours. But nice mix. Then moving on, we have, I think that was that one, yeah, Summer Romance Shorty. Is that what it says? I think so. Bead Strand. So it's got to be this one here. You usually get a strand like this, and then it's obviously just different beads because it's a different theme every single time. So let's just have a little bit of a look with a cleaner background. So it's very delicate again, very summer romance, I will say. It all fits the theme quite nicely so far. And again, these strands you can easily use as they are because they kind of make just a nice bracelet by themselves, just basically add a clasp. Or you can obviously separate them out or mix them with some of the other beads and materials from the box as well. So you have some small basic rounds, you have some other shaped ones, some nice delicate colours, and you have these little, they were in the last one as well, but they were gold last time. These ones are silver. Kind of little cages in different, very unusual shapes, but then you got a little bead or stone of some sort inside that's loose, but it can't fall out because it's too big to fall out through the holes. And they're just very unusual and quite interesting. You can obviously strand them like they have here on this, or last time I used these kind of as the end of a necklace or bracelet and used them as a bit of a clasp. So the actual bead inside did just kind of fall loose in there. But then we have some larger, very romantic looking beads moving all the way along. And also some of them I'm guessing have quite large holes. A nice kind of focal bead right there in the middle. And then it kind of goes opposite to the other end there. So you have the midpoint and then you have more or less two of all the rest of them, at least similar enough ones. So that's a strand, very nice and romantic. So just bring this one back. So what do we have then? Pair of clasps. Let's see what that could be. Pair of clasps. Right, so I've looked through and I can't seem to find anything that's like a pair of clasps for the rest of it. So I'm just going to double check the box whether I did actually miss something. It looks like I did. Yeah, it must be these ones there. Right, so pair of clasps. So let me get these ones out. Have a little bit of a closer look. Actually, I think they're kind of coming out the side anyway. Get this pink stuff out of the way. So we have what looks to be some metallic clasps. And it's two, but it looks like it's two toggle clasps. But it looks like something's missing because that's falling out of the bag. There we go. Now it should all be there. There we go. I was thinking you got the loop kind of for it, but there's no toggle. So you have a gold toggle clasp and a silver one. They're very pretty looking, that's for sure. They're very romantic looking is kind of what I keep coming back to, but it fits the theme really nicely. So this, the gold one, that's the loop part of it. Very nice design to it. And then this is the toggle part. almost looks a little bit like weights with those two things on the ends, but they fit them nicely. Go through the loop and then use it as a toggle clasp. Very unusual shape actually. So it's not just like a square, it's more like a diamond, but not fully equally sized around. Very nice. Then the silver one is, that's the loop part, and then here is the toggle part, and then put them together, could sit like that. That's quite nice as well. This almost makes a little design element in itself, but it's always nice when you have clasps that are nice, because say if, especially if it's a bracelet that you're making, you're adding a clasp, if it moves around your wrist and the clasp is nice, then it doesn't really matter so much, rather than the clasp being boring or something. So it's kind of, it's another design feature in the piece of jewelry, which is always nice, I think. Anyway, moving on. So that was the clasps. So again, having some findings so you can actually finish off some pieces that you make is always nice. Then we have chain reaction. So I'm guessing that's these here. You always get some different chains as well in these. Let's have a little look. So it looks like you get 3. Let's get them out and see how they kind of are and feel. I like to see how chain moves as well. Let's see if those are the same or whether they're different. Might be different little links, so I'm just going to get them all out. Yeah, they are different. So we've got 2 gold ones. They look like that. And you can see there's beads on all of them, but it's beads and separated out by little metallic links. So these have little, I'm not sure how to describe the shape, but it's, there's little metallic links there, and then with some beads added that add some sparkle as well. And the other gold one here, you have some twisted links and also some little, not directly flowers, but kind of flowery. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be something else or just kind of a nice design element. And again, also some beads on that. And so these are a little bit more peachy, whereas these are more on the kind of lighter end. So those are the gold. And the silver one, you have the metal links are kind of just some long ones there, and then also some little balls, again then separated out by these beads. So that's quite a nice colour. It's a bit unusual to put that in because it's not the most obvious colour. And then with the silver it goes quite nicely though, because it's quite a delicate green, and so far all the chains I've had from them, they move really nicely. It's definitely quite a nice chain, and again you have chain, so you can easily use that for something you make with any of these other materials. So nice chain here. Then we have metal floral charms. Now I'm not entirely sure what they are. Metal floral charms. I've had a look because there's that kit left, but obviously that's kind of the kit for itself. So the only thing I can kind of connect to it is that design element, Summer of Love. You got all these very much flower pieces, I would say, metallic floral pieces. It's the only thing I can think that it might be, but obviously that's kind of connected to the other one. Otherwise I'm not entirely sure what that is or whether it might be missing or something. So I can't really have a look at that because I can't seem to find it, and I've looked, double checked in the box as well, there's no more in the box. But anyway, let's move on to the kit then. So the kit is called Romantic Whisper Earring Kit. So that's this here. You get, let me just open it up, have a little look. So that is kind of unusual with this one as well, that you get materials kind of just not for specific pieces, so a specific kit that you get, but you do at the same time also actually get a kit where you can follow and make the specific thing that it's meant to. You obviously don't have to, but that's very unusual that it's both in one box. Usually it's one or the other. And then we have a little piece of paper there. I thought it kind of looked like a half-naked dude. Like an old romantic novel, I guess. I think my mum used to read that kind of stuff. I don't know if she still does. But anyway, that's anyway the feel you get from that. But then it does say, make these romantic whisper earrings with a special tutorial. So a tutorial for the specific piece of jewelry, in this case the earrings, is available, and it tells you then where to find that if you were to want to make that. But otherwise, what's in there? 2 bird charms. That's got to be these here. Let's get them open because they're quite small, pretty delicate. There we go, little bird charms. So it's a little cute bird there, and then it has a loop right on the top of its head. And you get 2 of them, obviously probably 1 for each earring if you wanted to make the earrings that the kit is meant for. And then you get 8-inch length chain. You actually get some chain in there. 8 inches. Now it looks like quite a fine chain. Let's see. So obviously the tutorial in that, for that link there for how to make it, tells you how to make them and what to do with the different pieces, because if you got to use the chain in both the earrings, you would probably have to cut it. Very fine and delicate chain, that's for sure. And then you just get the chain back in. We have custom laser cut flower charms. There's got to be these ones here, the larger ones, laser cut ones. So quite sizable. So they're flat, and then you have this kind of laser cut flower design on the side. And that's the back. I don't know if that's something you're supposed to peel off, or it just looks like that. But that's those. I'm just putting that out of the way. Then we have a pair of tiny roses, and then a pair of earring wires. They both got to be in here. So you get some more flowers by the looks of it. I think those white heads there are the flower heads, or the roses rather. So yeah, you get little white roses. They're cute. They're actually really nicely done. The shapes and the quality of them there. And then you have your earring posts with a nice little feature. Not just like a ball like normal, but it's got a little design to it. And then obviously the backs for them, the butterfly backs. And you have your little loop where you can then attach whatever it is you're going to do with the earrings. So also quite nice. Even these by themselves, to be honest. Using those earring findings and then a simple. Because where's the hole? Yeah, the hole is there. So whether it's wire or something, and simply using the roses to make earrings, that in itself is pretty cute, I think. But obviously that's all down to what personal preference is. Put these back in. So that's everything that was in the kit, and that's everything that seems to be here. So that was everything that was in the box this time. Now I still wasn't able to find those metal floral charms, so not entirely sure if it was those. Obviously in that case that's what they are, or whether they're kind of missing or something. But that's everything that was in the box, so now it's time to go away, have a little better overall look at this, maybe get some ideas, maybe try and use some of this for inspiration. The theme basically, which isn't hard really because it all definitely fits very nicely. Then I'm going to try and play around with some of it and see if I can come up with anything. So if you want to see what I end up making, make sure you stay tuned. So I've now had a bit of time to play around with these materials here, and I made a couple of pieces. Now I want to say the overall theme of what I've ended up making, it kind of sticks to the theme of the box pretty well. That wasn't intentional, but to be honest, you can't really not do that with how the materials are, because they are very romantic and very late summer romance. So that's basically just confirms that the materials definitely stay true to the theme quite well. But anyway, let's have a look at what I made. So what I did first of all was look through all the packs in the box to see if anything kind of came about idea-wise. And I then ended up picking out a few specific beads, you could say, that I knew that I then wanted to work with and try and make something with. So first of all, I ended up making, I think they were from the kit, there were 2 roses. And I ended up using both of them, but for different things. So I ended up, first of all, I made this ring here. I knew I wanted to use those roses because they're actually really nice. They, I'm guessing, are acrylic roses, acrylic beads, which you can get them loads of places, but they're very hit and miss, I find. Sometimes you can get them and they're not very nice quality and they don't look very nice, but these ones, they are very nicely done, I will say. So they're very nice quality. So I knew I wanted to use that. So I thought, maybe use one and put it in a ring, but then I thought, it's cute and all as it is, but I maybe wanted to add a bit more because it could lean on a little bit the boring side. So I used some of the Swarovski beads. So you can see obviously the bicones. I managed to find there were 5 of the dark purple and 5 of that kind of grey, and then there were some of the lighter purple. So I ended up making 2 flowers with those and put one on either side of that rose bead, and then obviously just made it as a ring. I think that's pretty cute. And those roses on the side of Swarovski, first of all, adds bling, obviously, which is never a bad thing, but also a little bit of colour. But of course, you could also just use that rose just in the middle without the extra homemade flowers on the sides there. But that was the first thing. So obviously, I used one of those 2 roses that came with it. The next thing I then made was using the other rose. Now, this is the only thing from the box I added to this piece because it's just the rose and then wire. And I ended up making this bracelet. I knew I kind of wanted that rose to be the center of it and kind of be the main feature. And I kind of tried to think a little bit what I wanted to do with it. I thought maybe try and add it to a bracelet where you then can make your own roses, the typical rose technique, out of wire and kind of make them graduate it. So it comes from small on either side, obviously, and gets bigger and bigger, where you then have the biggest one is that white rose in the middle from the kit or from the box. So I kind of played with that idea, and then I ended up making this bracelet, which I actually ended up quite liking. And the whole thing is just made out of the wire. I made the clasp as well from the wire. So I'm really quite pleased with that, and that's how it looks in the back. So it should also be nice and comfortable to wear because you only really feel those 2, the top and the bottom, kind of the framed pieces that are kind of behind when you're looking from the front, but it still kind of just frames them nicely. So that is the bracelet, again just using the 1 rose. So I didn't use loads of the materials because I ended up using what I used quite sparingly, but that obviously means that just using 1 or 2 or a couple of the materials per piece, you can get a lot of pieces from just that 1 box. So I think that's good as well. Obviously you can mix them together and using a lot as well in 1 piece, but just to show you don't have to use loads of things in 1 piece, and that way things will go a long way. Now the last piece I made was using, there were 2 of these pieces, so I can show you the other one. I was using one of these beads. Now these beads are from the Design Elements. So this bag here, I kind of, like I said, I was looking through all the different packs in the bags and just kind of seeing what was in there, see if anything specifically stood out to me. I did also this, just to kind of, now it's open anyway. There's quite a lot of nice things in here. These beads are really, they stand out as well. And you got some of those, I want to say beads, but obviously those kind of designs on the bead is very beautiful in themselves. So just them beads themselves are very nice. And you also have these little, almost charms I want to call them, where you have loose, I guess it's a form of sequin, inside that's got sparkle, and I think they're little stars. So they're pretty cute as well. But it's all pretty cute. kind of that whole romantic feel. But them beads here were from that bag. So I used the other bead of these two. And what I ended up making was, I kind of went, let's go back to the bead. I kind of used the bead itself as inspiration, you could say, because first of all, obviously the colour's really nice, that attracted me, but I just really like the shape of it, and I kind of wanted to emphasize the shape, so not cover it up too much. So what I ended up making was, again, I used wire, just got it on the chain that came in the kit here. I ended up kind of caging it in, you could say, but I still feel like it kind of keeps that shape of the bead itself, and it doesn't hide it too much, but it kind of emphasizes it and adds to it. So I basically made a wrap or a twist, whatever you want to call it, all the way around the bead. Gives that nice effect, but you can still easily see the bead and the colour and the sparkle from it as well. So I think this could be a nice, either a pendant, a pretty simple pendant, just hanging from a chain like this, or you use both of them, make another one, and they'd be really cute earrings, I think. So I'll probably make the other one the same to have a pair of earrings, who knows, or I might just keep it as a pendant. But I'm pretty pleased with that one as well, because again, simple and elegant and only using one bead, but I think a nice result, and again, has a nice impact. So the things I ended up making, you could say it was only 3 things, but I didn't use loads of materials, so everything in the box will go quite a long way, like I said. So I personally quite like all the pieces that I came up with here. They're very much my style, I would say, kind of elegant and simple, so not too much, but at the same time quite impactful in a nice way. Obviously the ring is pretty simple in itself, the design, so, but my favourites are probably the bracelet and then this pendant or earring, whatever you want it to be. I'm really happy with how they turned out, and obviously you can never go wrong with some flowers on the ring either. I will probably be doing tutorials for these, I'm thinking, because like I said, I quite like how they turned out. So I hope you like them too, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.